Breaking news tonight, a live look at 17th and I Streets Northwest as 20-year-old National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia died earlier tonight, more than 24 hours after she and another National Guardsman were shot in an ambush attack. That intersection of busy downtown D.C., now the site of a growing memorial of flowers and American flags, honoring and remembering Beckstrom as her fellow Guardsman, 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, remains in the hospital tonight. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Randy Bass. Susan Tran and Chris Flanagan have the evening off. We want to take you right out to where all of this is unfolding tonight. We find DC News Now's Yamari Sase live outside MedStar Washington Hospital, where the news of Sarah Beckstrom's passing is sending just shockwaves through the community tonight. Yamari, what are you hearing at this hour?
Yeah, definitely a heartbreaking ending to this tragic situation. Now, President Trump did announce earlier today that Specialist Sarah Beckstrom has passed away due to her injuries. And he also said she joined the National Guard just 2 years ago. Now, we spoke to West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey before the news actually came out. And he says he's focused on supporting both families. And this entire situation is an unspeakable crime, and he's seeking justice.
I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person. She's just passed away.
Tonight, emotions are even heavier after President Donald Trump confirmed that Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, one of the 2 National Guard members that was shot on Wednesday, has died from her injuries.
As you know, the other young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape.
These are people that have put themselves in harm's way. They're courageous. They're brave.
We spoke to Governor Patrick Morrisey before the news broke.
Some of the people in the unit, some of the people in the families, the only thing they've asked for are prayers.
Police say the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanala Lakinwal, an Afghan national who moved to the U.S. in 2021, drove from Washington State to D.C. and ambushed the guardsmen.
This is an unspeakable crime, and these are heinous acts that are committed by a very, very bad person.
Investigators say Beckstrom and Wolf were patrolling near 17th and I Street around 2:15 on Wednesday when Lakinwal raised his gun and shot them.
We had West Virginia Guards person right there, and they returned fire and neutralized the person.
Now, with Beckstrom's death and Wolf still fighting for his life, the governor emphasized the importance of standing together.
Justice will be served. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, that doesn't take away from the pain of what the families and what people are going through right now. But I can tell you this much. I'm seeing that across West Virginia, people are stepping up.
Yeah, well, the suspect is facing assault and gun-related charges, and now that Specialist Sarah Beckstrom has passed away, those charges could be even more. For now, reporting in Northwest, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Yamari, thank you. Turning now tonight in Sarah Beckstrom's hometown of Webster Springs, West Virginia, a vigil held in her honor and remembrance. The town of less than 1,000 people is about 100 miles east of Charleston, West Virginia. There tonight, the Webster County Veterans Auxiliary hosted a prayer vigil, mourning the loss of their hometown hero and praying for peace for all who knew her well. Despite it being the Thanksgiving holiday and below freezing temperatures, nearly 3 dozen community members gathered in a show of support, including several fellow veterans.
Well, being a veteran myself, I feel for her and her family, and I feel a connection. She was a veteran, and I'm a veteran, and we're all brothers in arms, and I feel a connection. I feel for her and her family.
Lots of heavy hearts there tonight, and tonight was just the first of 3 vigils being held in Specialist Beckstrom's honor there in her hometown of Webster Springs. For the next 2 nights, community members will continue to gather there in the heart of town, telling stories about her and speaking about how she made everybody she met smile with her warm presence. And tonight, D.C.'s top federal prosecutor, the United States Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, sharing a statement online saying, in part, quote, "Our hearts and prayers go out to the family of 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom of the National Guard. May she rest in peace. It is now time to avenge her death and secure justice." West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey also making a statement tonight after his interview with us earlier today, saying, quote, Sarah served with courage, extraordinary resolve, and an unwavering sense of duty to her state and to her nation. She answered the call to serve, stepped forward willingly, and carried out her mission with the strength and character that define the very best of the West Virginia National Guard. A look at GW Hospital, where that alleged shooter, now identified as Rahmanullah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national living in Washington state, is in custody, believed to still be in the hospital tonight getting care after he was also shot during that broad daylight ambush attack downtown. And as the investigation into that shooting enters a second day, more questions than answers still remain at this hour. DC News Now's Basil John brings us the latest from an update with officials.
On Thanksgiving morning, federal investigators identified the 2 National Guard members shot in broad daylight Wednesday. 20-year-old Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf of the West Virginia National Guard were on duty in D.C. when the suspect came around a corner and opened fire.
I ask every American today to keep them in their thoughts and prayers as you go about your day.
Prosecutors say the gunman is 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national.
He drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended target of coming to our nation's capital.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says the suspect came to the U.S. as part of the Operation Allies Welcome in 2021. He worked with U.S. intelligence partner forces in Afghanistan. Investigators say they're still searching for a motive.
This is a coast-to-coast investigation being led right here in Washington, D.C., and this subject definitely did pick the wrong country.
FBI Director Kash Patel says agents are carrying out searches in Washington state and San Diego. After the shooting, D.C. officials say other Guard members sprinted toward the gunfire and subdued the shooter within minutes.
No additional victims were harmed, and the scene was secured.
The attack is now being investigated as an act of terrorism.
Somebody drove across the country, came to Washington, D.C. to attack America. And that person will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
President Trump ordered 500 more National Guard members to Washington as the FBI moves forward with what it calls a complex national investigation. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Basil, thank you. As for the investigation right now, the suspect's motive is still unclear, though we know the shooting is being investigated as an act of terrorism tonight. Before news broke this evening of National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom's death, D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said earlier today she was monitoring the situation in case her office needed to upgrade the suspect's charges to first-degree murder.
We intend to continue monitoring what the charges will be, depending upon the well-being of the Guardsmen. We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree.
FBI Director Kash Patel also confirming a number of search warrants executed overnight in connection with the suspect across multiple cities and states around the country, including San Diego and Washington state. Patel said they seized electronic devices like cell phones, laptops, iPads, and other material that is all now being analyzed. In these devastating developments over the last 24 hours, it has been a very emotional day for many Washingtonians. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons is on 17th and I streets with the latest reaction from around the district.
A very heavy and somber Thanksgiving day here in Washington, D.C. along 17th and I, where you can see where people have already left behind bouquets and an American flag for those 2 National Guard members. Now, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro said they were sworn in less than 24 hours before they were shot here.
I heard, of course, the first 2 shots I thought were firecrackers. After about the 3rd or 4th shot, I felt pretty confident that it was actually a gun.
Tom Geller was staying steps away from where the shooter opened fire on 2 National Guard members.
I had thought of going out about an hour earlier, and so it was entirely possible I could have been in the crossfire.
Cell phone video captured the chaotic scene below after authorities say Afghan national Rahmanullah Lakhanwal drove from Washington state to D.C. to ambush the Guardsmen with a revolver.
One Guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the Guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times.
You can see where a bullet entered this planter near the scene, and right over here where there's now missing glass that was shattered during the shooting. Officials say other guardsmen nearby engaged the suspect and subdued him until police arrived. The two victims identified as 20-year-old specialist Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, deployed from West Virginia as part of the President's Safe and Beautiful Task Force.
It's terrible that it happened, and I admire them for being here as a National Guards person, but at the same time, there's no need for them to be here.
You got two young people that no matter what, they're right for life. What happened yesterday will be with these people the rest of their life.
Now the Trump administration has ordered an additional 500 National Guard members to D.C. after this shooting, bringing the total number of troops to more than 2,600. In Northwest D.C., Liberty Simmons, D.C. News Now.
Liberty, thank you. This story, of course, very much developing tonight. We are continuing to follow those latest details both on air and online. You can visit our website at dcnewsnow.com to keep up with the very latest. All right, we have to check in with meteorologist Brittany Ward. Brittany, it is 9 o'clock on Thanksgiving night. People might be running out to let the dog out, maybe getting a quick walk as they're settling in for bed here. But Brittany, I think a lot of us just wish we were at home with our feet up in front of the fireplace tonight.
Yeah, you know, that is definitely the place to be tonight. It's going to be chilly as we head through the rest of your evening, and that's going to follow us as we head into your Friday. But take a look at radar right now, showing you up and down the East Coast, down south. We are quiet as you head closer to the coastline, but back off to the west, we are seeing those snow showers, all thanks to lake effect snow. So if we put radar in motion right now, showing you that parts of Pennsylvania, they are starting to see some snowfall out towards Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New York, parts of West Virginia, Ohio, and even further west out towards Chicago. They are holding on to some snow showers at this hour. Let's zoom it in closer to our area. We are also seeing some snow begin to fall here along the DMV, mainly as you get closer to the eastern panhandle of West Virginia, parts of Winchester, Front Royal. They are seeing some upslope snow showers. We do have winter weather advisories that are in place for parts of the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. You guys could see up to about 2 inches of snow as we head into tonight. Into tomorrow, some snow starting to make its way out towards Garrett County, and overall that will be the trend for you guys at least through tomorrow. Closer to DC, we're going to be tracking those dry, clear but breezy conditions, and Randy, that cold air, it's going to be sticking around as we head into Black Friday. So keep it here. We'll have a full breakdown of that forecast up next.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Making sure your holiday cooking doesn't send your guests home sick. What you need to know as you start packing up leftovers tonight. And police ramping up patrols as you head out shopping, where you can expect to see more officers this weekend.